Shalom everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is S and I am converting to Judaism. So you guys have been asking me to make more videos, so I will. I'm gonna try my best. This conversion process is a lot, and I'll try to release a video at least twice a month or more if I can, because this experience is really wow. But I am doing well, everyone is doing well, and I thank you guys for being patient for my next video. I just thought of this topic and thought I'd speak on it some more. I realized I touched on it a little in my last video, but didn't go into detail enough, so we're gonna hop right into it. I want to talk about modesty a bit more, and a bit more about my past and how I used to dress, how I used to speak and carry myself, and how it's drastically changed as I gotten older, and how it's playing a role in my conversion experience. So, what does it mean to be modest? When I hear that someone is modest, I think someone who's classy in the way they dress, someone who is more private and concealed, someone who is open to listening to people more, someone who's respectful. And I realized that that's how I want to carry myself from this point on until the day I die. And I want to be able to instill these same characteristics in my children whenever that day comes. So modesty, I feel like women cringe at it because you feel like you're restricting yourself from doing what you want and saying whatever you want. And in a sense, yes, you are. And I think that's what Judaism is about discipline. And I've learned to be a very disciplined person, and this is why I love this religion so much, because all of these rules make sense. And I am embracing the benefits of it all right now as we speak. So the first thing I'm going to get into what is my past. I'm 28 now, I'll be 29 next month. And I saw myself, well, I guess I presented myself as a wild girl, like twerking, drinking, partying, whatever culture I was a part of, it involved nothing but bad things. It was just about living in the moment and living for now, and I come first. It was my needs over everything. And I spoke however I spoke to my vocabulary wasn't as broad as it is today. So I would use a lot of curse words. I wouldn't really care about people's feelings. I wasn't even self-aware. And this was in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s. And it wasn't until up until maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I realized that I had to shift and make a change. And this was even before Judaism was in my life. The reason for that was because I just wasn't being respected as a woman, as an adult. I wasn't, my views weren't taken seriously. People looked at me as if I didn't matter. And I didn't realize that what I was giving off was just that. I was giving off that I had no self-worth. That is the wrong thing to do as a woman. We should be carrying ourselves and displaying ourselves with elegance and grace, because that's who we are. So what does it mean to be modest? So things I started to do, one of the first things I started to do was the way I dress. I started to cover up way more, and immediately I saw the respect when people looked at me and spoke to me. They were paying attention to the words coming out of my mouth instead of looking at my body. And I feel like a lot of women can learn from this. You don't need to go and exploit yourself. Every time I go on Instagram, I see my past. I see, I see all of that. And nothing's wrong with a good selfie, but the thing is, you crave attention, and we crave attention from men, and we distract men by doing this. And I'm probably gonna get a lot of crap for this video, but I truly believe women can lead to change the movement. We can be the leaders in this by simply changing the way we dress. And I know, like, the feminist thing is it's a man's fault, they should be able to control. I'm like, we play a role in that too. And as I began to dress better, I became more confident in my words and how I held a conversation with someone, either of the same sex or opposite sex. I'm in an environment where I'm constantly engaging with men and women. So I held myself to a higher standard by dressing appropriately. And I'm following that rule every day of my life now because of how beneficial it is. Another thing that I started to do was I started to be very careful with how I speak. I speak less, unless I'm on YouTube. I speak less and I listen more. And when I speak, I make sure my words have depth and meaning. I make sure that I leave an imprint on someone's heart or someone's mind, and everything coming out of my mouth has value. I don't get triggered over everything. I try not to get emotional, or best of all, I try not to take things so personal all the time. Like, there's just no need for it. Not everybody's out here to offend you. You can choose to not be offended. You could choose to listen. And you learn so much more about yourself that way, and so much more from others. Having a filthy mouth isn't elegant. It isn't feminine. It isn't modest. And I'm not here trying to preach to people how to live their lives. At the end of the day, you will make the best decision for you. But if you're watching this video, that means you want to improve. So learn better words, increase your vocabulary, and reap the benefits of just being a smarter, modest woman. The greatest benefit of all is how people will treat you. You show people how you want to be treated by the way you carry yourself. If you carry yourself like someone who is worthless, that's how people will treat you. If you carry yourself with praise and pride and modesty and elegance, that's how people will treat you. You have value, your words have value, and act like it. Carry yourself like that. Because you are a modest woman doesn't mean that you're like shut out in a corner somewhere. No, you're someone who's meant to be here. You're someone who's meant to lead, essentially. We are the leaders. And there's just a lot of women who are lost that think that being modest is the wrong way to go. No, it's not. It's the best way to go. Trust me. So what do you do if you feel like you are crawling back into your old ways? Like you feel like being modest isn't paying off enough. You aren't getting enough likes. You aren't, making enough money. You aren't, no one's showing you that appreciation that you thought you would get. You have to look at the value of it, the price you're paying by going back to your old ways. Judaism has taught me to live in the moment and appreciate how far I've come on my life journey, and that God is on my side, and everything you do is through Him and for Him. And as you continue on your spiritual journey and you start to change and grow, the feeling of you going back won't even come close to how you feel about yourself now. Don't revert back to old ways. There's only bad things waiting for you.